Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. My name is Shaun Rodger, and I'd like to welcome you to the February edition of the Monitoring Academy newsletter. Now, we don't have any videos to kick off this month, it being after Christmas. I'm afraid that we didn't get any content produced, but we will have content for the next newsletter. So without further ado, let's move straight on and look at our top blogs. The first is an explanation on ITM application support, and this is by my colleague Norman Kruger. And essentially what he does is he looks through the details of application support at the hub, and you can see this on the screen now. So as you can see, he goes through the commands that you need to run. He looks through the location of the files. He shows you some test cases. It's a very, very good blog, so thank you very much for that, Norman, with a lot of really good information, so hopefully you'll find that useful. The second blog we're going to look at today is one by Sandra Jones and other level 2 engineers, and she's looking at a very specific case where TACMD LDAP login fails after an upgrade. So this is kind of just a heads up. It's not something that we've seen in a lot of customer sites, but something that she feels might be useful. So you can see here we've got some log entries that you can look for, and basically, it looked like they had to change the correct path to the GS kit. So they moved the path installed dir nterp gslib64. So if you have any problems with LDAP after an upgrade, this could well be worth looking into. Our next blog this month is a quick one by Eric Montagnon, and it's looking into APM 814, and specifically it's the synthetic agent ports that need to be used. So this is quite handy if you have, for example, a firewall or you need XVNC and you need to know which ports you have to connect to. So he's just got a quick rundown of the ports you need here and exactly what each of them is used for. Really handy little blog, so thanks very much for that, Eric. Our last one is the ITM Global Location Broker, and this is another one from Norman. So this is looking into what the Global Location Broker does, and specifically the use of the kdcl bad command, which allows you to query the contents of it. This can be quite handy if you're having problems with servers not being able to connect to your hub TEMS. It could be worth taking a look into this. So Norman goes through the usage of the commands, the various switches you can use. He provides some links to reference details and actually has a little screenshot showing you the sort of output you might get. Moving on, we are going to look at our top APARs. Now, the first two I'm going to kind of take together because they both relate to uplifts for the Java runtime. So the first one is IV95014. You can see it here. And if you look here, this is for ITM 623 through to 63 Fixpack 7, and it shows you the different versions of Java that we're going to be supplying in these particular fixes. If we then move on to the next APAR, IV98947, essentially this is a follow-on from the previous one, and it's just more up-to-date versions of Java. For example, if you look at this one here, it was SR10 Fixpack 1 in the previous version. It's now SR10 Fixpack 10. So if you need an update to Java, this is the place to look. Moving on from that, we are then going to look at IJ03527, which is the Windows OS agent configuration not working for the primary TEMS. So this is a bit of a problem with the agent config. This is still open. We don't have any specific resolution for it yet. It looks like we have an abnormal entry under KNT, if you can see there in the file paths being shown. So this is perhaps something just to keep an eye on. It only appears to impact 6.3, so just something to keep in mind. The next one is IJ04069. This is a specific issue with versions of AIX 7.1 and 7.2, and this is the Unix OS agent hanging or crashing. So we're looking at this with AIX support. We have PMRs open with level 3, so we're just looking for an actual fix to be produced from this. So I've identified the problem, we just need to actually get a fix coded and out to you guys. So hopefully we'll cover that in a future newsletter down the road. The next two both relate to IP version 6. This is IV83601, which is the warehouse proxy agent doesn't connect when it's configured for IPv6. Now, this is a problem with the GLB khd.txt file being generated using the IP version 4 hostname instead of IPv6. Again, it's just something to keep in mind. You might want to double check this, make sure it's actually got the right address in this file. We don't have a specific fix for this. That's going to be looked to be resolved in an upcoming version, but just something for you to bear in mind. The next one, another IPv6 one, is IV85462. Now, this is TACMD set agent connection, which is failing to update. So essentially what happens is you run the .bin TACMD set agent connection and it doesn't actually properly update the IP6 pipe host value. So what you have to do is, rather than running the set agent connection from your TEMS, you have to go and locally configure the agent, and then you can set this host value properly. Again, we don't have a specific fix for this one. We'll keep you guys posted at a newsletter further down the road. And last this month, let's take a look at our top flashes and tech notes. To kick things off, we have Security Bulletin, believe it or not, for yet more vulnerabilities in IBM Java GRE affecting IBM Tivoli monitoring. This is kind of becoming the flavor of the month, I am aware. So as you can see here, we have still more vulnerabilities and we have a link to some updates. So that, as per usual, while this isn't something we've specifically seen PMRs about, this is something we would recommend that you get installed on your system as soon as is convenient. So moving on, we have a flash/tech note, and this is for an APAR IJ03646. Customer requires that a TEP automatically accept a valid TEP certificate during logon processing. Now, this is specifically for those of you out there who are using self-signed certificates. This is a customer who had a problem that every time they started up their TEP client, it asked them to verify this TEP certificate. Now, the reason for that is actually quite simple. It's that you can actually choose to accept the certificate permanently when prompted the first time. But if you say no, then it's going to keep prompting you to accept that certificate. So I don't think we're going to see a fix for this. I would class this as a working as designed. Just make sure that when you start the TEP up for the first time after you install a self-signed certificate, you make sure to accept it permanently. Our last one for this month is another tech note, and this is looking at increasing the minimum limit parm value on ZOS management server agents. So this is when you should set the minimum and or limit value on the management server or agent on ZOS. And this goes through some things to check. It specifies where you can set this minimum value, goes through some more information for you. So if you're using ZOS, I think you'll find this useful. I have to admit, I'm not hugely familiar with ZOS myself, but yeah, hopefully you find this of use. So that's it for this month. I'd just like to say thank you again for your time. We will be back in March with another newsletter. We should have some more video content for you and all the latest updates in the ITM world. Thanks very much for watching.
Thank you for watching this video at the IBM Monitoring Academy. We appreciate your feedback, so please feel free to use the comments box below. We'd also love you to check the thumbs up box if you appreciated this video. We have added several helpful links to the YouTube comments box below so you can find all our other content on social media. I would definitely recommend that you check out the blogs on DevWorks. Take care.